table of 9 black people were kicked out of CORK BULL Chop House in Chesapeake, Virginia because 2 unrelated black people that they didn't even know got into a physical altercation with each other, and the restaurant has done nothing about it.
You telling me we got to go? You saying we got to go? Hold on, y'all. The girl went out. They went out for their Friendsgiving or whatever, right, y'all? You know, everybody's doing Friendsgiving. It's almost Thanksgiving. You go do gifts, you know, do some little cute little stuff. So this girl, her little secret, her little circle of friends or whatever, they go to this restaurant. So they get to the restaurant or whatever. They just really get into the restaurant because they just now getting their drink. So they chilling or whatever, little gifts or something. You know, they just chilling. They got some gift bags on the table, whatever. They ready to have a good time. So while they sitting there, a fight breaks out between 2 other African-American girls. They a little bit over to the way they fight. I'm talking about them girls. I don't know what they was fighting about. It must have been a man, but I tell you, they was just, it was stuff flying. It was a lot going on. Looked like the girl was bent over. It's showing everything. I'm just saying, okay, but hold on. So y'all, the managers come, the workers come, everybody comes, they break the fight up. They done broke the fight up, then they get the girls gone, all this or whatever. So, little friends over there having their Friendsgiving, they thinking they about to, order, chill, have a good night. Y'all, the manager came up to them and was like, y'all gotta go. So they like, wait, what? Why do we gotta go? He talking about y'all like to fight. I guess he wasn't doing it last night. He wasn't doing that night. Y'all not gonna be up. How you gon'?
Gotta head over to Chesapeake, where a group of 9 black women got together to celebrate Friendsgiving at a local restaurant. The restaurant is called CORK BULL. It's supposed to be a nice establishment. They didn't even have much time to get comfortable because when they got there, next thing you know, they looked up and 2 other black women were fighting in the restaurant right in front of their table and other tables as well. After the women stopped fighting and fled the restaurant, the manager came over to the other group of black women and told them they had to leave, refused to serve them, and just them, by the way, nobody else. And the reason management gave them was because, quote, y'all like to fight. Remember, this is not the same group. They straight up embarrassed 9 women that had nothing to do with the fight and didn't know the other group at all. Now, you have a lot of people trying to defend the restaurant, saying, yeah, they were all there together. That's why they kicked them all out. See, they have empty seats at their table, and those empty seats had to be the seats for the 2 black women fighting. Well, before we go too deep in the story, take a look at Exhibit A. This right here is from the security footage from the restaurant, clearly showing 2 different parties unrelated to each other, not even communicating with each other. They're so far apart. Obviously, you can see the 9 women, the large group, they all sat together. And then the 2 women fighting, they had another group at a smaller table. None of these tables are connected whatsoever. They have nothing to do with each other. So let's go ahead and put that to rest, because sitting up here making up lies just to manufacture a narrative, that's not necessary. Yeah, so now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and move on with the story. But first, take a second to make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates. Shout out to everybody watching from Hampton Roads, Chesapeake, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Newport News, Hampton, all the surrounding areas. If you're watching from VA, drop Virginia below in the comments. Won't waste any time, let's go ahead and get into it.
Now, a place in Chesapeake known for fine dining was the backdrop for some rude behavior that got physical. These images of 2 women fighting from earlier this month are making the rounds on social media. But the story is a group of 9 other women who say they were kicked out of the restaurant in what they call an act of discrimination. Markeisha Jackson has the story you'll see only on 10.
That fight happened inside of CORK BULL Chop House. After things settled down, a group of other women who were not involved in the fight were told they had to leave the establishment, a statement they feel was made based on the color of their skin. What was supposed to be a night of fellowship for this group of women
turned into a night of hurt, embarrassment, and pure humiliation.
The 9 women had chosen to have a Friendsgiving dinner at CORK BULL.
We only had time to order our drinks, and a fight broke out between 2 African-American women that had nothing to do with us.
Somebody break it up.
And no, I'm not showing the fight here, but I'll leave the link below. The lady, a part of the uninvolved party of 9, I know she was telling somebody to break it up. And come on, do you really expect people to get in the middle of 2 Keishas Fighting was supposed to be a nice restaurant. Well, of course, nobody's volunteering to referee a fight match when they're paying their money and put on their nice clothes to have a nice dinner. I see she didn't get her behind up to break up the fight. And no, I don't blame her, but why are you yelling for somebody else to break it up? I mean, you know exactly why nobody's breaking it up. It's the same reason why you sat there at the table and didn't break it up either. No shade, I'm just being honest. That's my observation. Nobody was about to get up to stop that fight, just like you didn't get up from the table to stop it either.
This is video of the altercation. The 9 women say it happened between guests at a table that was across the room. The 2 women seen throwing blows ultimately left before authorities arrived. But somehow, restaurant staff thought these 9 women who were still inside were somehow involved and told them to leave too.
And that's a lie, news reporter lady. They didn't somehow think they were involved. The restaurant staff was fully aware they were not involved. They came in as 2 different parties under 2 different names, 2 different groups, and they were seated at 2 different tables. Once again, here's the security footage from that restaurant. They didn't somehow think they were involved. They knew they weren't related at all. And that right there is why the restaurant about to get their britches sewed off.
So I asked why. And he responded saying, because you all like to fight. And they made us leave and get up in front of all the other patrons in the restaurant.
We were really in like a negative spotlight at that moment, and it was all eyes on us. It was very embarrassing.
The 9 ladies are now pursuing legal action. Their lawyer sat down with us.
Just because you have employees that might have made a bad judgment one night, that could turn into 2 nights, 3 nights, 4 nights. It has to stop.
The women say the restaurant staff has not reached out to provide an apology or update.
All 9 of these ladies were treated more harshly than the 2 people who were actually engaged in the misdemeanor action.
The attorney called it a misdemeanor action instead of what it really was, a fight. It almost sounds like she's defending her innocent clients and at the same time putting the cape on for the women who actually caused the chaos in the first place. By using softer language, she's minimizing the seriousness of their actions. And honestly, that's part of the problem. Condoning, downplaying, or excusing bad behavior is exactly how negative stereotypes about us continue to get recycled. That's why it's important to call wrongdoing exactly what it is. Separate ourselves from it, not sugarcoat it. But the wild part is the attorney, she's speaking as if she's defending both groups. And look, reality is simple. Just like both parties aren't guilty, both parties aren't innocent either. Listen, everybody can't be guilty, everybody can't be innocent, and everybody can't be a victim. Her job in this case is not to defend a bunch of wild flamingos, clearly out of order at that restaurant. Nah, her job is to lay out the case for her clients who are innocent in this situation and prove they were victims of discrimination.
Their lawyer says they want accountability and justice.
We can say this is discrimination. We can say this violates the Equal Protection Clause. They have said enough is enough, and we're not going to take it.
Treat your customers with dignity and respect.
We did reach out to the owners of Cork and Bull Chop House as well as the general manager for comment, but we have not heard back. In Chesapeake, Markeisha Jackson, 10 on your side.
Y'all see the video of them black women that was fighting in a nice restaurant and they booty cheeks was all out and like chesticles was exposed? A group of black women that had just sat down and were not served yet, and like a fight broke out right in front of them. And they were like, ooh, should we jump in to help them and break it up? And they was like, girl, this ain't got nothing to do with us. Let's just sit right here and wait for them to, handle that. So ultimately the staff went and handled it, got them people up out of there. And then when it was their turn to get served, they came around and was like, yeah, we're not serving you because like your kind like to fight. And these black women were appalled. They were like, I cannot believe this is happening to us. They really throwing us out. And I'm like, dang, black fatigue is through the roof. Like, they was completely sick of y'all. And I'm not even being funny. Like, the woman that was fighting, they was like big, thick women. Looked like they had some bad BBLs, probably in there fighting over some baby daddy or whatever. But like, whole booty cheeks was out, y'all. Back fat, chesticles. It was looking nasty and sloppy. Like, one of them looked like she had a little dress on and the other one had like BBL clothing or like some cheap workout gear. It was just bad. Situation that made it to the news, and like it got all these white apologists outside of the restaurant like letting these people know like you're not gonna treat black women like this, and I am just cracking up. This is another reason why some people do not eat at places that do not require a dress code. Like, I will eat in the house or get my food to go at certain places once I start noticing that there's certain characters up in there. And it looked like this was a pretty decent or nice restaurant. Like, why does this girl look like she wearing a workout outfit? She came there on a mission. I don't care. I start paying attention to the clientele up in there. Like, once certain people start sliding up in there with certain attire, I'm like, this is not where I want to be seen. Time to go.
That is so embarrassing. Thank God, you helped me with that. Plus, I'm older now. But this one thing I want to say. If you know you don't have no panties on, okay, you're gonna have to catch the bitch next time. Okay, I'm gonna catch him next time. If you know you have on something and you don't have no, just don't fight. Even braids too. I'm gonna have to catch you next time, but I'm gonna catch you. You know what I'm saying? Unless somebody end up hitting you and then you have to do what you have to do. I understand it. But this is like the third person I've seen bust wide open. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then on top of it, like a nice restaurant. Then the lady that's telling the story, I'm gonna tell y'all what she said. She said the manager came over and she didn't have nothing to do with nothing and told them, we not serving y'all. Y'all can leave. Like, as if they didn't want them there either. And they didn't even do anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm wondering what happened. Because she don't know exactly what happened, why they was fighting. Could have been two friends.
And you know, that's what's annoying about the whole situation. You don't know anything about the women fighting or why. They left before police could even get there. They faced no consequences at all for their actions. And instead, the only group to face backlash, embarrassment, or any consequences happened to be the 9 women that had absolutely nothing to do with this. And I'm telling you, this restaurant is going to have to pay all 9 of them. By the time this is all over, they probably won't even have a restaurant. And the fact that they still haven't responded, their silence says everything.
My question is, how are they going to kick out these people because these people got into a fight? They are obviously not together. They obviously not in the same party. These young women are accusing Cork and Bull of racial discrimination. From what I saw, a fight broke out between the people over here. They got kicked out, but then after they got kicked out, the manager or the server or someone came over to them and was like, hey, y'all got to go too since y'all love to fight. They even said they weren't associated with them. Like, why are y'all associating them with them? You know what I'm saying? It could only be one reason, right? When it comes to the restaurant business, I have done every position that you could possibly do in a restaurant. Food running, bussing, serving, bartending, cooking, kitchen manager, front of the house manager. I've done it all. And that's why this doesn't make any sense to me, because if a party is together, you would know. Normally they would walk in together and they'd be like, hey, if it'll be too much, we all can sit here and then they can sit there. You know what I'm saying? If they don't want to put the tables together. So they need to put out a statement on why did they think they were associated. Because if the only reason that you guys are associating them together is because of their skin color, and then you kick them out because they got into a fight, they got a case here. You know what I'm saying?
At the end of the day, I believe the 9 black women are going to win their legal battle. That's discrimination, plain and simple. Case closed. Gotta add this because it's very important too. Black women, especially in black spaces, offline and online, have to stop trying to hide this behavior or co-sign it like that somehow makes it disappear. It doesn't. When you condone bad behavior or defend people who are clearly in the wrong, we end up attached to their actions. And that right there has real offline consequences. It blurs the lines. It lets the worst example speak for all of us. And then other people, they think they could treat every black woman the same way, no matter who actually caused the problem. That's why calling out the bad behavior matters just as much as fighting the injustice. That restaurant need to be held accountable for how they treated them. Bottom line. Now, as for the attorney, when defending the sisterhood becomes larger than the bigger picture, that's when it all gets weird. The attorney seemed to be low-key caping for the women who actually started the whole mess. And that's the part that has to stop. You can't treat the guilty with kid gloves, basically giving them the same sympathy or respect as the innocent group. Again, everybody isn't guilty, everybody isn't innocent, and everybody can't be the victim. Don't try to minimize the severity of the negativity those other women caused. That was a fight, their fight. Up there talking about a misdemeanor action. Like, lady, who are you defending here? Everybody versus the restaurant? No, it's your clients versus the restaurant, not all the black women in the restaurant. Because then you'll be doing the same group and the restaurant is guilty of. No, maintain a clear distinction. It's them flamingos over there and my clients over here. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Tell me what you think about this below. Gotta send a special shout out to our brother Samuel Bolden. I appreciate you, Samuel, for all of your support for the channel, as well as our sister Starlet. Thank you, Starlet, for always showing support. Day one supporter. You can show your support as well. The link to PayPal is below. Ladies, fellas, want a balance analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.